Hello YouTube. See, I told you I'd be back next week with another hot take on one of my special, unique observations of a Pixar movie, and here we are now, next week. So, the film I'd like to talk about today is The Incredibles. As we all know, in The Incredibles, superheroes become outlawed because of all the complaints against the destruction they caused. And, causing even more damage in the process than the villains already did. The saddest part is that this one really mean guy, Oliver Sansweet, sued Mr. Incredible for saving his life because he thought Mr. Incredible ruined his death, which I thought was funny at the time, but now it's not so funny when I realize that, suicidal people might sometimes actually feel that way about not wanting to be saved. Now, I'm here to talk about, what a brilliant villain Buddy Pine was on multiple levels. He starts out like your average, everyday annoying fanboy who's too obsessed with superheroes and wants to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick. Well, I'm Incrediboy! He wants to be Incrediboy. But he's too obnoxious and unhelpful. And Mr. Incredible doesn't really want his help. And he kicks him out of the Incredibile. And even when he does try to come back to help later, he makes things worse. And he doesn't notice a bomb stuck on his cape from Bon Voyage, and accidentally blows up a monorail track because of it. And when Mr. Incredible has to stop the monorail, the people inside are angry because even though he rescued them and they went suicidal like Sansweet, and the monorail was still mostly intact, they all sustained a lot of serious injuries and had to wear neck braces and crutches. The really interesting thing about Buddy Pine here in his 15-year transformation from Incrediboy to Syndrome is how first he causes some of the film's problems unintentionally, and then he later causes some other problems intentionally. But you know what? I still can't really blame. I do not. Unlike some of you, I would absolutely not blame Mr. Incredible's rejecting of Buddy for him turning evil and becoming the villain named Syndrome. Because Buddy Pine handled Bob Bahar's rejection of him very poorly, and what he chose to do after that is not Mr. Incredible's fault. I do not think Mr. Incredible should really feel guilt. He should feel a little guilty, but not too guilty about Buddy killing all the other superheroes with those 10 Omnidroids he made. Because it's really sad that one of his own fans could exact such a petty revenge murder amongst all superheroes. And it was really scary. Now I can see why Mirage was done standing for him. He finally crossed her line when Mr. Incredible didn't Mr. Incredible refuses to heal Aaron. And Syndrome thought Mr. Incredible was weak just because he didn't kill Mirage. And next we had a moral compass. And then that's when Mirage broke up with him. If I was her, I would have done the same. Because it's not weak to value human life, and disregarding it isn't strength. Next time you gamble, pay your own life, Syndrome. And, if that wasn't sad enough, superheroes are still, even after they solve the current problem with Syndrome and his 10th Omnidroid, and got Syndrome killed by his own cape. Which is why, Edna warned us that, capes are a very dangerous thing. It was very sad how even after they beat the 10th Omnidroid and the rest of the surrounding crowd cheered for them, superheroes were still illegal 3 months later in Incredibles 2, so that problem hadn't really been solved, and now you can see how strong Buddy's evil influence really is, since it took the entire second film to make superheroes legal again, and I really hope nothing happens in the third film to make them illegal again. But what I really do hope happens in the third Incredibles film is that, since the first film focused on Mr. Incredible and the second film focused on Elastigirl, I think the third film should really focus on their kids, Violet, Dash, and maybe even Jack Jack. At least then Violet's friend, Kari McKean, could get a bigger part than she got in the first film. And the other thing that I'd really like to see happen in Incredibles 3, apart from the kids being the main heroes to engage in the climactic fight against whoever the main antagonist or supervillain of Incredibles 3 is, even if Incredibles 3 introduces an entirely new villain, I really do hope that I want John Ratzenberger's Underminer to turn out to be the overarching villain throughout the entire Incredibles trilogy, because even though the Incredibles, or Pars, whatever you want to call them, faced him at the beginning of Incredibles 2, he got away, and his role there was almost entirely dispensable. Except for the Incredibles getting in trouble with the law again. So, I really hope he serves a bigger purpose, and his vague role in the first two Incredibles films can finally come to fruition if Brad Bird and Pixar decide to make The Incredibles 3. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll be back next week with another hot take on the role of Lotso from Toy Story 3. It's going to be huge and exciting.